Supergirl. You know she exists in the Injustice video games, don't you? You know the games that also have comics, so that helps us get more feats to pull from. You ever wonder how strong she is? Let's go. You guys know who Supergirl is. She's ridiculously strong because she's a Kryptonian. Just like the main continuity comics, she can do all that stuff similarly, right? With heat vision, super cold breath to freeze you. She got super hearing. She can hear all the people that's in danger. I mean, she can fly really fast, but she has absurd super speed to where it looks like she has multiple hands, but it's not multiple hands. It's just her hands are moving that fast. It looks like she has a lot of arms, meaning she can literally move her hands like this, showing her fighting speed. She's been hanging out with Wonder Woman too much. Somebody that's also dang near close to Superman level when it comes to strength. So imagine Supergirl getting trained by somebody that has this kind of strength, but actual fighting skills, implying Supergirl has fighting skills too. Let's be honest, when you think of a Kryptonian, you think of a versatile being, but you also think of brute strength. So it's no surprise that this version of Supergirl has a lot of super strength, obviously. Due to Kryptonian, one of the biggest rules is that just because you're bigger when it comes to pure size doesn't mean anything. She's way stronger than what she looks, overpowering this Amazo android, for example, that you see her do in comics. These androids you see in actual canon comics to the main DC continuity. Okay, guys, so in video games, you know how they let the player choose the endings sometimes in certain video games? More than likely, the good ending is canon, but they also have like bad endings. Like there's actual comics that actually have lore that pretend like the bad ending was the bad outcome. Like I'm talking about Superman making Batman into a slave, or a plot twist. That's actually the canon ending in Injustice, because Injustice likes to be edgy or something. Wouldn't that be a plot twist, right? We'll see it in Injustice 3, won't we? Anywho, I'm trying to get to the point. There was this point where Supergirl grabbed these beings by the neck, ripped them apart to show her super strength. She has crazy grip strength, like her forearm strength, to crush Amazo's brain here. You know this stuff is big when He-Man is in the occasion. Yeah, she crossed over with He-Man, don't ask. But yeah, she helped lift something super heavy in this particular occasion. Not only lift it, but like you see how small she looks in comparison to it, so you know it's huge. Not only lift hundreds or even thousands of tons, she can literally rip into the stuff to show her super strength as well. All this stuff is BS though. The best way to understand her true strength is to understand how she compares to a powerhouse like Wonder Woman. Like, for example, with these chains. It states these chains, they were forged by Zeus to hold me, aka Ares, and now they bind you. So it lets you know how strong these chains are in general. They can hold Wonder Woman. This kind of gives you a clear understanding where the writers want Supergirl to be in this universe. They were forged by Zeus himself. They stated Supergirl doesn't give a good crap. She still shows her strength, even in comparison to Wonder Woman's might, to be able to break him anyway. Maybe this is not a strength thing, but hey, they stated these bonds were made to hold the gods. But she says, I'm not a deity, but she still broke it. Like, what? That makes it even worse. Like, the fact that she broke something a deity couldn't break makes her even more impressive. I think a showing like this, chains that can hold Wonder Woman, forged by Zeus, Supergirl is able to break whatever Wonder Woman can do when it comes to lifting heavy stuff. I think this is a clear indicator that the writers want her to be able to do similar or worse. One could even argue this proves she's stronger than Wonder Woman. I mean, we've seen Wonder Woman lift an entire tank with ease, 60 plus tons, proving that even this universe's version of Supergirl could hold a tank above her head with ease. With her strength. Don't forget that Wonder Woman, Shazam, Green Lantern, Superman, 4 of them, was able to lift the entirety of Atlantis. With their brute strength, Wonder Woman was 1/4 of this help to be able to move an entire city, lift an entire island, literally lift it up and put it somewhere else. And we literally seen Supergirl break out of something Wonder Woman couldn't when it comes to brute strength. To where Wonder Woman couldn't break out, but yet Supergirl could. Are they implying whatever Wonder Woman can do, Supergirl could do better? When it comes to the Amazonians, even some of the greatest fighter Amazonians, Nightwing believes that they're not on her scale. They would have to team up on her to take her down because of magical weapons and stuff, which will make her powerless. So they're saying in a group, they would be able to take her down, but like one-on-one, she's too strong for them. So it kind of adds up with the lore and writer intent. Nightwing seemed to be right. This is a durability feat, but one could say this is also a strength feat. If you're not Wonder Woman, don't even attempt to fight Supergirl. Not to mention Wonder Woman sees her as a good, worthy opponent. So it lets you know how the writer intent for her strength level, you know what I mean? Durability and stuff too. This pretty much means just like how Wonder Woman was in this situation to help lift up an entire island or a city, if Supergirl was in the same situation, she would be able to do the same, proving that this Supergirl, if she was in that same situation, could lift or hold up the weight of an entire island if it came down to it, meaning that she can easily lift millions or even billions of tons, guys. I mean, think about this for a second. If she can lift this much weight, imagine what the heck her punches would feel like. I tell you what, those are the kind of punches I wouldn't want to feel. I mean, these parademons and stuff, this stuff is a joke to her, obviously, but when it comes to how hard she can punch, we've seen her send Granny Goodness flying. These Brainiac drones, they're too easy for her when it comes to her punching power. We've actually seen her punch Amazonians to the point where they just fly through walls, so it's obvious Her punches can punch holes in brick and thick walls, obviously, because this is light work, honestly. One can say she can use her flight speed, making her have more punching power. She punching Amazo's head off here. This occasion right here pretty much proves that she could definitely level a city. Look how much impact she can cause by slamming Amazo into the moon. Like, we know the moon and the earth are different in size. We know the earth's a lot bigger. This is like a size comparison pic right here, right? Okay, I try my best to kind of put the comic on the moon to give you an accurate size scale on how much impact she caused. Like, she didn't necessarily crack the whole moon, but she did cause a decent size explosion on the moon. You can kind of see the curvature of the moon. You can kind of get an idea of how much impact she caused with the punch. Like, if you look carefully at the explosion she caused, and if you was to compare it to Earth, if you was to compare these two size explosions to one another, she would definitely be able to level a city on Earth as the equivalent. And here's another angle of me trying to do the same when I'm trying to figure out the curvature of the whole moon compared to the comic version. Look at that big explosion on the moon. Imagine this explosion of this size on Earth. You see what I'm saying? That would be the power to easily destroy a city, at least as a bare minimum. When it comes to her punching power, so as a bare minimum, we know her punches can at least be compared to certain nuclear bombs when it comes to how hard she can just straight up hit. The strength to wipe out all this with just a single punch if she wished. Isn't that scary? Based on this, she caused this much impact. And it doesn't stop there. When you start comparing her to other top tiers, like Black Adam, for example, we see this crater she put him in. Her punches can actually draw blood from Black Adam. Yeah, he's a top tier. She being able to do this is definitely possible. He tried to say, only my pride is injured. He said, no, wait, my face is also injured. So that you know he actually injured Black Adam despite his durability. I mean, I've already brought up Wonder Woman, but she kicked her here. So when it comes to comparing Supergirl to the powerhouses, we've seen that she can withstand a lot. Just like the way she can dish, her body can withstand all this mess, withstanding punches from Wonder Woman and Slugfest. She's even had to withstand BS magical lightning blasts, and it's not just like something you just make that just makes her depowered, even if you're magic. This has happened on more than one occasion of her having to withstand Black Adam magic. Matter of fact, even her cousin, Superman himself, she's got to be somewhere in the ballpark when it comes to strength, even though he did overpower her majority of occasions in this game, throwing her through a building and such. So throughout this video, it's pretty much proven that she's in the same league with the heavy hitters when it comes to how hard she can hit, like Wonder Woman slugfesting with her, Superman taking hits from him. They're both Kryptonian, same abilities and everything. So the best way to understand what her true punching power is to see what the beings in this universe that she has to consistently face, what can they do when it comes to how hard they can punch. This is interesting because we know this universe's version of Superman, Injustice Superman, has fought this universe's version of Darkseid in a slugfest before. He fought him on his planet Apokolips, for example, where the world of Apokolips trembled. And it was stated in narration that their battle was world-crushing. It's feats like this that imply that Superman is indeed a planet buster when it comes to his punching power, saying that their fight or blows would rupture the core of the planet. It's one of them situations where even if you don't want to say she's completely equal to Superman, she got to be somewhere in his ballpark. Even if you want to say Superman is above her, she has to be somewhere close, like maybe right here or something. So the gap isn't so big to the point where he's a world destroyer and she's not. If he's a world destroyer, she has to be, because if not, she would be like gazillions of times weaker, and we know that ain't true. I mean, she just has to be a world destroyer too. All of this should apply for Wonder Woman too. She should be a world destroyer. All of them should be planet busters at this point. It's one of them situations, even if you don't want to believe she can destroy Earth, which I totally think she could based on the feats, but she, at a bare minimum, her punches can definitely tremble and level moons. Even if you don't believe she can destroy the Earth, she has to be at least be able to tremble it or shake it a little bit, if that makes sense. Sink multiple continents or a whole continent, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. She shouldn't have no trouble punching apart moons. Pretty much proven Kryptonian tiers in the Injustice universe can threaten the entirety of Apokolips and even threaten to mess up the core of Apokolips, the planet. I know this is just a super move, but since she's Kryptonian just like Zod, this trembling the move, punching a hole through it, possibly destroying it. Supergirl should be able to do whatever Zod can do similarly, because they're all Kryptonian. They're somewhere in the ballpark of power of each other when it comes to physicals and such, right? All this strength, and she can punch like this. Like, she has this kind of speed. Like, we've literally seen her catch a bunch of bullets to where it looks like she has a whole bunch of arms, but in fact, she doesn't. It's just raw speed. Not to mention she has fighting speed and she has straight line point A to point B speed. Stuff like this goes along with her combat speed. Like, you see Blue Beetle on this particular occasion blitzing towards this opponent, right? Like, he's almost about to hit the opponent. And Supergirl swoops in before he can even finish getting to the opponent. Like, let you know how fast she is. And he was like, huh? It's easy to say her super moves and stuff are not canon when it comes to the video game mechanic aspect of it, but it's interesting that people say this, but there's implications she could perform those feats regardless if you call that feat canon or not when it comes to her raw flight speed. I mean, we've seen her blitz beams in the space ridiculously fast. They even talk about the speed they're moving at, taking them to the moon in pretty much no time. I mean, it's not really specified on how fast she had to go, but just think about it. If it's this many miles from the Earth to the moon, like I know this super looks over the top and looks crazy that she can just fly to the sun that fast all the way around the sun. I don't think this is an exaggeration when you see her cousin Superman do something similar. Like we literally seen Superman fly off the planet all the way. Superman's abrupt departure stating, you see all these prisoners on Apokolips with Darkseid? Superman flew there that fast. Like this dude flew across the darn galaxy or out of the galaxy to get to Apokolips this fast. So are we sure she can't actually do this when it comes to her flight speed? Like she might be able to, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's massively faster than the speed of light, being comparable to him. I mean, if he can fly out the solar system at extremely fast speeds like that, she should be able to be at least faster than the speed of light when it comes to her raw flight speed as well. I mean, just the thought of somebody flying from this side of the galaxy all the way to the other side of the galaxy is already absurdly faster than the speed of light. For her to be able to fly this fast, one could say if she was to ram it to you with these kind of speeds, she wouldn't even need super strength to cause crazy damage because her just flying into you with these crazy speeds would just be insane. You guys know how this Superman from the Injustice isn't the one from the comics that we know and love. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, obviously, but they're two different continuities, obviously, right? Like, I'm going to call this one the Rebirth one. I'm going to call this one the Injustice one. This the video game original version. This is the comic one we know and love from the years and years have passed. This Superman actually had a son that's extremely powerful. I wouldn't say he's as strong as Superman, but he's kind of somewhere in the ballpark. Like, say if Superman's 100, he got to be like 65 or 75, something like that. You know, you get the idea, but somewhere in that ballpark, right? And you guys know how this Superman has ridiculously insane feats compared to the video game version of the Injustice Superman we know and love. Like, Superman's son, even while real young, was able to burn Superman's back pretty bad here. So it lets you know how hard his attacks are. So imagine him when he's grown, like a grown him. You see what I mean? Well, thanks to recent comics, this could kind of make the Injustice Superman and the characters in this whole Injustice universe look a lot more powerful than we originally thought. Because, you know, Superman's son from the main continuity, John Kent, thanks to multiversal hopping shenanigans, this John Kent from the main continuity is struggling with this Ultraman being. And Injustice Superman is actually strong enough to pop these alternate versions, this evil Superman's neck, even though this is one of the main continuity characters, the son of the main continuity Superman. This kind of says a lot about Injustice and the writer intent. They want Injustice Superman to be similar to the main Superman we know and love, apparently, or somewhere in that ballpark, because we know Ultraman is. It's stated here that he might be on par with this universe's version of Superman. They're talking about Injustice Superman. They're comparing their power to each other. This kind of changes the game because we know main continuity versions of characters make planet busting look like a joke. And if this Injustice Superman is anywhere in the ballpark with these canon main continuity characters, that would mean planet busting and sun star shattering would be easy by default. I mean, we know Supergirl is on par with Injustice Wonder Woman. Like I showed plenty of proof of that. But this version of Wonder Woman, John Kent, Wonder Woman's strikes, the one that Supergirl can match, can damage beings that are from the main continuity, Rebirth Saga. And if that would apply to Wonder Woman, that would apply to Supergirl, that would apply to Superman. You see where this is going? Like, if they're anywhere in the ballpark of these guys, even if it's a little gap, it's like, bruh, we're talking about Injustice characters being able to tremble entire galaxies with their blows. I'm talking about punching with way more force than multiple Earths slamming on your face or some crap. Like, that's how strong the main continuity Superman are. And if Injustice Universe Kryptonians are anywhere in this league, destroying the Earth or planetoids would look like a joke in comparison, because you know how small the Earth is compared to the sun. We're talking about star-trembling starbusters and such. Like, I'm not really going to try to spend too much time on this, but like, you know, the main continuity, they have to deal with beings that have the energy of the destruction of entire galaxies in them, and Green Lanterns, like Green Lanterns over here, for example, have to contain multi-galactic type energies, and we know Superman can bust out of this guy's constructs with his punches. It just gets crazy. But I know it's hard for you guys to imagine all that. The Injustice Universe Kryptonians being on par with the main continuity Kryptonians. It would honestly change the game if you think about Injustice too hard comparing them to the main continuity, but that's none of my business, guys. What do you guys think, though? How do you think the main Injustice characters compared to the main continuity, now that we know that they've crossed over and the writers want them to be somewhere in the same ballpark of power? It's a lot to sink in, but before I get going, everybody, I gotta say quick thanks to the donators. Respect Supergirl no matter which universe. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.